All who are exhausted and weighed down by life, come to me, and I will grant you true rest. I see the heavy burden you carry. I witness the pain you suffer in secret and the agony you hold back. Surrender it all to me. I am here to pour my serenity into your soul and revive your fading strength. Simply draw near to me. My arms are permanently open wide to receive you. I am your loving Father, and I walk alongside you even in the moments when you feel completely numb to my presence. You are not isolated, and you never have to be. I am intimately familiar with your anxieties, your failures, and your silent cries. Step into my presence with total confidence, because my embrace will never reject you, and my devotion never wavers. I am the one who protects you, sustains you, and directs your path. Rest your heart in this truth, for your Father is right here with you. There are seasons when we sink into absolute silence, not because we lack words, but because our very soul has run out of energy. These are the moments when you desperately wonder how much longer you can survive this weight. Even though the people around you remain completely oblivious, you are fighting a fierce internal war that no human eye can see. In that exact place of hidden agony, you need to anchor your mind to what God decreed long ago in Isaiah 43:2. He promised that when you navigate turbulent waters, He will be right there with you. And when you walk through the blazing fire, the flames will not consume you. Notice that God never promised that massive trials would not come your way. He promised that those trials would fail to crush the divine identity He placed inside you. He does not guarantee a life void of trauma, but He guarantees that the trauma will not have the final say. Afflictions will certainly show up, but they lack the power to tear down your destiny. Heartbreak will hit you, but it cannot extinguish the masterpiece God is molding within your character. God remembers every single ounce of pain you endured, the tears you choked back, and the mornings you dragged yourself out of bed with zero strength just to keep moving forward. He refuses to abandon you in the middle of the process. Instead, He steps directly into the eye of the storm with you, paces through the furnace by your side, and catches you when your knees finally give out. The world looks at you and cannot comprehend how you are still standing, but you know the secret. It is not your own willpower. It is the sovereign hand of God shielding you even when you are on the verge of quitting. Every single crisis that failed to take you out was actually developing your capacity for what lies ahead. The agony of your present season is fueling the purpose of your tomorrow. I will remain by your side daily until the very curtain falls on this age. When nothing makes sense and the road ahead is swallowed by shadows, remember that I am blazing a trail before you. I will not desert you, and I will never let you drop. I am your compass, your tranquility, and your ultimate fortress. Lean on me, my child, and cast out your fear. I see your heavy load, your deeper doubts, and your quiet battles. I know your wounds and your silent tears. Stop trying to journey alone. I am right here. When your stamina evaporates, place your exhaustion into my hands. I am your strength, your lifter, and your guide. Find your rest in me, for my commitment to you is eternal. Be careful not to display your righteousness before the eyes of men just to earn their applause, because doing so disqualifies you from the reward of your Heavenly Father. When you extend generosity to someone in desperate need, do not broadcast it like the hypocrites who sound trumpets in public places and busy streets just to draw attention to their own charity. I tell you with absolute certainty, the praise of men is the only reward they will ever receive. But when you help the poor, let your generosity be so covert that your left hand remains unaware of what your right hand is doing. Give your offering in absolute secrecy, and your Father who sees every hidden action will personally reward you. Likewise, when you connect with God, do not mimic the actors who love to pray publicly on street corners and in religious halls just to show off their piety. Truly, their public recognition is all the payment they get. Instead, when you pray, retreat into the quietest room of your house, lock the door behind you, and speak to your Father in total intimacy. Then your Father, who observes what happens in the dark, will reward you openly. And when you speak to me, do not multiply meaningless, repetitive phrases like those who do not know God, believing that their prayers are granted based on the volume of their words. Do not follow their pattern, because your Father is completely aware of your deepest necessities before you even articulate them. If this very day was your final 24 hours on earth, would you pause to hear my voice one last time? I have stood at the threshold of your heart, knocking so many times. I have whispered your name through the howling winds of your personal storms. I was right there beside you, yet I was repeatedly ignored. Despite all of that, my affection for you never cooled down. Can you not see it? It was my voice whispering to your soul that your story wasn't over. It was my hand keeping you stable when the pain attempted to execute you. When you hit absolute rock bottom and looked around to find a completely empty room, my eyes never drifted away from you. I saw you. I am approaching you once again today, not to bring a heavy hammer of condemnation, but to bring a reminder of your true identity. You belong to me as my child. It makes no difference to me how filthy you feel or how shattered your life has become. If you take just one fragile step in my direction, I will completely breathe life back into your dead situations, because my love is not a reaction to your performance. It is anchored in who you are to me. For God displayed his intense love for the world by surrendering his irreplaceable only Son, ensuring that anyone who places their trust in him will not face eternal ruin, but will inherit endless life. God did not send his Son into the world to pass judgment on humanity, but to rescue the world through him. Absolute freedom from judgment belongs to everyone who believes in him, but the person who rejects him stands judged already, simply because they refuse to believe in the unique Son of God. This verdict is based on a tragic reality. Heaven's light invaded the earth, but humanity actively chose to embrace the darkness over the light because their lifestyles were corrupted. Everyone trapped in wicked behavior despises the light and avoids it at all costs, terrified that their hidden faults will be exposed to the world. However, those who live by the truth run toward the light, so that it becomes undeniable to everyone that their actions are done in alignment with God's will. Father, I recognize that I stumble far more often than I like to admit. I try to put on a brave face and I try to do better, but my human flaws constantly pull me down. Yet in spite of my failures, you never turn away. You look at me with infinite grace and endless patience. Today I ask for your forgiveness and your supernatural strength. Do not abandon me, Lord. Take control of my existence, transform my inner desires, and pull me up every single time I hit the ground. I am the light of this world, and the moment you open the door of your life to me, no shadow of darkness will ever be able to conquer you again. It does not matter how many times you have fallen, or the weight of the mistakes you carry. I have the power to reignite a blazing hope inside your heart. Wherever I step, the darkness is forced to flee. Just keep walking with me. Write this message to the messenger of the church in Smyrna. This is the declaration of the first and the last, the one who tasted death but is now alive forever. I am fully aware of your intense hardships and your financial lack, yet in reality you possess spiritual wealth. I hear the slander of those who claim to be God's people but are liars, forming a gathering that belongs to the enemy. Do not cringe in fear over the suffering that is headed your way. The adversary is about to throw some of you into prison as a test, and you will face severe trials for a set season. But if you remain uncompromisingly faithful, even when staring into the eyes of death, I will present you with the crown of life. Let everyone who has ears capture what the Spirit is saying to the churches. The overcomers will step out completely untouched by the second death.